All right, let's talk about marketing. I'm willing to bet that what you think marketing is, well, it's not the whole story, not even close. Most people only see the very tip of the iceberg, but what's really going on beneath the surface? That's what can fundamentally change how you see your entire business.
So let me just ask you point blank, what is marketing? It seems like a simple question, right? But the most common answers that jump to mind are frankly dangerously incomplete, and sticking to them can seriously cap your company's potential for growth.
For a lot of folks, especially in companies that are really product-focused, marketing is just a fancy word for selling. The goal is to just push more units to more people. And look, I get it, that's a common view, but it's not marketing, that's sales. And the difference between the two, it's absolutely critical.
Then you've got the other big one, the idea that marketing is just advertising. This one makes sense because ads are the most visible part of what we think of as marketing. They're literally everywhere we look. But saying marketing is just advertising is like looking at the tip of that iceberg and thinking you've seen the whole thing. It's just one tool in a massive, massive toolbox.
And the third big myth is that marketing is all about promotions. Discounts, coupons, buy one, get one free. We see these tactics all the time, so it's easy to mistake them for the whole shebang. But again, this is a super narrow view that completely misses the strategic heart of what marketing is all about.
And here's why this matters so much. When we boil marketing down to just these little tactical things, selling, ads, promos, we're stopping it from doing its real job. It's like we've built this powerful engine for business growth, but we've locked it in the trunk instead of putting it where it belongs, right at the front, driving the entire strategy of the company.
So okay, if marketing isn't just selling or advertising, what is its real purpose? To get to the bottom of this, we first have to draw a really clear line in the sand, a distinction that sets the stage for everything else we're going to talk about.
The key difference is all about the timeline. See, sales kicks in after a product is already built and ready to go. But real marketing, it starts long before there's even a product to sell. A successful product isn't the thing you start with in marketing. It's the result of great marketing.
This brings us to a game-changing insight from the legend himself, Peter Drucker. He said, "The aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous." What a statement. What he meant was that the ultimate goal is to get to know your customers so incredibly well and to create something that fits their needs so perfectly that the product basically sells itself. No hard push needed.
Just think about the launch of the very first iPhone. Apple didn't need some massive, aggressive sales team to convince people to buy it. Why? Because the product itself was the result of incredibly deep marketing insights into what people didn't even know they needed. It delivered so much clear value that millions of people were lining up to buy it before it was even on the shelves. That is what it looks like when marketing makes selling superfluous.
Okay, so now that we've cleared away some of those myths, let's build up the real definition from the ground up. At its very core, marketing isn't a random collection of tactics. It's the strategic discipline of creating value.
So here's the formal definition. Marketing is the art and science of creating and managing successful value exchanges. It's an art because it takes creativity, and it's a science because it's built on proven principles. But the key words here are value exchanges. The primary job, the whole strategic point of marketing, is to create value for your customer, for your company, and for your partners.
And this value creation isn't just guesswork. It follows a pretty clear process. It all starts with understanding an unmet need out there in the world. Then it's about designing the right offering to meet that need. After that, you've got to communicate the value of what you've made, and finally, you have to actually deliver it. This four-step path is the strategic roadmap that real marketing provides.
So what does this actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Well, one of the single most critical strategic decisions any company makes is defining the market it's actually competing in. And trust me, getting this wrong can be absolutely fatal.
A company with a myopic or short-sighted view defines its market by the product it sells. They'll say, "We're in the railroad business," or "We sell soda." But a strategic company defines its market by the customer need it serves. So they'd say, "We're in the transportation business," or "We're in the refreshment business." Why is this so important? Because products and even entire industries can become obsolete, but core human needs, they don't.
If you want a classic cautionary tale, look at Coca-Cola. For decades, they defined themselves as being in the soda business. This product-focused tunnel vision meant they completely miss huge shifts in what customers wanted. They were looking for other kinds of refreshment, which opened the door for companies like Snapple, Gatorade, and Red Bull to swoop in and build absolute empires in markets that Coke could have and should have dominated.
And all of this brings us to our final and maybe most important shift in perspective. Marketing isn't just some department that sits off in a corner making ads. In a truly successful organization, marketing has to be the central engine that drives everything else forward.
Drucker hits us with another bombshell here. He argues that a business really only has two basic functions that produce any results: marketing and innovation. Everything else, accounting, manufacturing, you name it, is a cost. Just think about that for a second. Marketing is what identifies the need, and innovation is what creates the solution. They are the two essential sides of the value creation coin.
Building right on that idea, you've got this famous quote from HP's co-founder, David Packard. Now, this isn't some dig at marketing departments, it's the exact opposite. It's an elevation of the marketing function. What he's saying is that this customer-focused value creation mindset has to live in every single part of the organization.
So what does that actually look like? It means the engineering team is designing products thinking first and foremost about the customer's experience. It means the finance team structures pricing based on the value delivered to the customer. The entire company, from top to bottom, is aligned around that one single goal: creating customer value. That, right there, is the sign of a truly great marketing organization.
So this all leaves us with one critical question to take back to your own business, your own team. And it's not about job titles, it's about a mindset. Is everyone in your organization, from the CEO down to the intern, a marketer? Is every decision they make being weighed against its impact on the customer? Because when the answer to that question is yes, that's when you finally unlock the true strategic power of marketing.